Ladies, gentlemen, and those not restricted by binary definitions of gender. I hope you're hungry because it's time for some leftovers. This recap for the arc It's Not Delivery, It's Disaster covers episodes 30 through 40 of Into the Gridge. After returning from their second sojourn to another plane, the crew set out for Bayadern toward the coastal city of Machillen, located on the Azadwil Sea. Along the journey, Amir and Maureen attempted to make up for some of their lost time, and eventually Amir parted ways with the crew, going off to find more deserters from the Church of Fortitude to make sure it was shut down for good. When the crew finally arrived in Machillen, they found themselves in a combination curio shop and fortune tellers, although they soon learned that the owner was the strangest curiosity of them all. During her pursuits of Ansel, the crew learned that Ansel is divorced and was currently paying alimony. Then, the group set out to get their fortunes told, but only received ill omens of what would pass in the coming weeks. Once that was all taken care of, they set out for their real goal, to confront Brenda's family for the horrendous way they had treated not only her, but many generations of people. They snuck their way onto Sora Island, Brenda's ancestral home, and they knocked on the front door. Luckily, Christine, the same housekeeper that helped Brenda escape initially, answered. She quickly ushered them inside and hid them in the servants' quarters. The crew then waited all of 2 minutes before becoming impatient and deciding to snoop around. They were nearly discovered and got chased through the house by Brenda's father and grandfather, Gerald and Richard Dick Sora. In a panic, Brenda led the crew into the west wing of the house, her family's living quarters, and up to her old room, only to discover that it was occupied by a young boy, her half-brother Darren. He was elven and claimed to have the same mother as Brenda, something she knew to be impossible since her mother Maria had been human. It seemed that something more sinister was afoot, and someone was impersonating Maria Sora, but as an elf. The crew continued to run through the mansion, eventually finding refuge in a tower in the east wing that was magically hidden from the outside. It was the private study of Richard Sora, and once inside, the mystery of Brenda's parentage deepened. It seemed that not only had Richard replaced Brenda's mother Maria with someone referred to as the Double, but that Maria had an affair with one of the groundsmen and had another daughter, a half-orc she named Maureen. They also discovered evidence of a ritual that was to take place soon that would transfer power from Richard to Darren. The Soras had been harboring a secret for centuries. They were servants of the god of evil, Ilin. The crew uncovered a secret passage in the same room that led to a series of basements and caves beneath the house. Therein, they found a number of interesting rooms, as well as the original Maria Sora kept alive by the Double and tortured for her memories. Despite being in desperate need of a rescue, she still showed the same disdain for Brenda she had in her youth, and only reluctantly did Brenda agree to escort her out of the caves. Just as they were about to escape with her, the crew decided to abandon Maria in the caves as they returned to the mainland to look for more clues. And clues they found in the form of a secret room in the local library, which revealed that Brenda's family had been one of the first groups of explorers to help tame the Inner Ring. They learned that the mission had been dedicated to pizza and that there was a portal to the plane of evil hidden beneath Sora Mansion. Armed with this knowledge and the blessing of pizza, the crew snuck back into the house through the caves in order to stop the ceremony. As they ascended the tunnels, they confronted and killed the Double, then split up to cover more ground. Big, Brenda, and Glunkus attempted to infiltrate the mansion, but were quickly discovered by Richard Sora. To maintain his cover, Glunkus could do nothing but stand by as Big walked himself down to the prison and Brenda had to confront her grandfather alone. As Glunkus left to regroup and try to save Brenda, she made a daring escape and barely made it out of Richard's clutches after an intense magical battle. While he was imprisoned, Big received new magical powers from a strained and mysterious voice which promised power as it implored him to agree to help later, which Big did. Meanwhile, Ansel, Maureen, and Penny found a room that had a strong magical energy, and soon after they were confronted by a figure composed of the smoke that followed them. It spoke in hollow metallic tones and didn't give much information, especially considering that the trio quickly abandoned the room rather than face the mysterious figure alone. Eventually, the crew managed to regroup, with Glunkus having sprung Big from prison on the way to the rendezvous. As they lay in wait for the ceremony to begin, having set a number of traps, they found an ancient laboratory that contained the knowledge that the gate to the plane of evil was similar to what powered the maze back in Icon Valley. Both were crystal pillars made from the material from their respective planes that drew off the life force of a sacrificial victim. For Mach Essek and the Gate of Chaos in Eichen Valley, that had been Kava. Here in Mach Illen, it was the 3 other explorers that had come with the first Sora. After a tense fight in front of the portal that ended with not only Richard Sora dead, but also Darren, the crew rushed to evacuate the staff from the building, leaving Brenda's family to die as they escaped on Richard's yacht. Once more, the gate collapsed behind them and Sora Island was no more as it imploded. From the relative safety of the yacht, Brenda reached out to Pizza begging for help reviving her brother, and in frustration abandoned the god when he offered only a recommendation, and his own fear at the anger their actions had caused. Off of Pizza's recommendation, Penny used Elowin, as she had come to call Edok's greatsword, to open a portal to the plane of Yogurt, the goddess of good. They persuaded her to attempt to resurrect Darren and left him in her care before resting and setting off to return home through Mach Yogurt.